Hi guys, so welcome to the new question. So in this question, I'm going to explain snapshot array question. So first, I'm going to explain what is question. So in this question, you have been given an array. Okay, what I'm saying is in this question, you have been given an array like this. Okay, this is your initial array, and there are also we provide a snap. We provide a snap function. So you just find out this snap function is get and this set and this snapshot array. We are given an array of snapshot array. Okay, so we are given an array of snapshot array like this array, and we give a snap function snapshot id also. Okay, we give a snap also. Initially our snap id is 0. So if your snap id is 0, it means this array in the condition of snap id 0, it means the condition of this array will be pointing to this snapshot id 0. Okay, why? Because initially the array is containing all zeros, and also it will point the snapshot id. If we change any value like this, if we put 1 here, then this 1 will be changed in the condition of snapshot id 0. Okay, so if anyone asking that what is the snap id of at the snap id 0, what is the value of index 1? So the value is 1. Okay, so what I'm saying, when our snap id 0, then what is the value of index 1? So the value is 1. So we change every value at the snapshot id 0, like we change this value to 2. Then we can call when our snap id is 0, then at idx, what is your value? Our value is 2. But what when you have to put a value? So we can put also when our snapshot id is 3, then we can put a value. At id 3 when our snapshot id is when our snapshot id is 0, and then we have to put at particular index like 3, 5. Okay, so we can put 5, 0, 1, 2, 3. So here we can put 3 also, 5 also. Okay, so we can put any value at particular snapshot id. Okay, but what if you change our snapshot id? This is your initial snapshot id. Now this is your initial snapshot id 0. Okay, but when you increase your snapshot id, it becomes 1. Then if we perform any change, then it will not reflect it this, because this array is belonging from this snapshot id. Okay, because this array is connected with this snapshot id. Okay, and but when we increase our snapshot id 1, then this array will come at like this. If we perform like 0, 2, 3, 4 and 0, in this condition our array is this. Okay, but when we are change our snapshot, we upgrade our snapshot id to become 1, and in this condition our snapshot id become this. Okay, but when we change in this condition, when we change any operation, like when we are going to put 2, then it will not reflecting in this condition. Why? Because this array will connected with snapshot id 0. But when our snapshot id becomes 1, then this array will not connected with this array. Okay, because this array will reflected from this. Okay, this array connected with this id. Okay, so what I'm saying is we store the information for particular snapshot id. Okay, we store the information for particular snapshot id. At snapshot id 0, the information is different. At snapshot id 1, the information is different. Okay, and no connection between this information. Okay, when we are changing anything here, then it will not reflect it here. Okay, I think you understand what I'm saying. So I hope you understand what I'm saying. Okay, so snapshot id is performing by this operation. Okay, so when we are going to perform this operation, then we have to take every time we create a new array. Okay, so that it takes much operation. Okay, it takes many times. It takes how big time complexity, space complexity. So what we are doing is we can take a HashMap. Why we are taking HashMap? So if this is our array, and you want to create, and you want to initially your snapshot id is 0. You can take 0. Okay, so in this condition, what we are doing, we create an HashMap for every index, like what I'm saying. This is index 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. Okay, so we know that at every condition, at every particular snapshot id, the index is different. Okay, for snapshot id 0, at this index, what is the value? At this index, when our snapshot id is 0, at index 0 the value is 0, at index 1 the value is 0, at index 2 the value is 0, at index 3 the value is 0, and index 4 is the value 0. Okay, but when we are going to change, like we change at 0 becomes 1, at the index 1 we put a 3. Okay, so in this condition we put 0 here, we put 1 here, we put 3 here, but this change is belonging from this id. Okay, this change is reflecting from this id. So how we can store? We put a hash map here, we put at every string, every position hash map, we put a hash map at every string, and we put a two thing, id and value, snapshot id and value. So in this case, when our index is 0, then we put a snapshot id 0 and value becomes and value 1. So it means when our snapshot id is 0 and our index is 0, then our value is 1. This is the meaning of this information. When you are creating a hash map, what I'm saying, we created an array. Okay, at every index we put a hash map. At every index we put a hash map, and at index 0, a hash map is presented, and index 0 a hash map is presented, and in this hash map we put a id, snapshot id and value of this array. In this case our snapshot id is 0. So in this array, when our index is 0, then we put a snapshot id 0 and 3. It means when our snapshot id is 0, then at the index of 0 our value is 3. Okay, I think you understand. Sorry, 1. Okay, because we changed the 1, we changed this value to 1. Okay, I hope you are clear why we are using hash map. So I think you just clear how why we are using hash map. So now I'm going to code this problem, and after that I'm just coming for a particular condition. Okay, first I'm going to say that in this question our question is not updated because some test cases is not made because of something. So I'm just code this problem, and this code is good, and this code is right. Okay, so after when our question is updated, so that you can you can submit the question, but this code is all right and our approach is good, because the matter is approach, because the best is we have discussed the approach. Okay, and code is normal thing, but I'm just going to code this problem, but this code is right and you just code this problem. Okay, so the code is very simple. So our code is this. Okay, so this is our code. Now what we have to take in? We have to take a vector unordered map and int comma int a. Okay, and then we have to take a dot clear. After that we are taking a equal to vector unordered map int length. Okay, so this is our code. After that what we have to take? We have to take a index. When we have to set any value at any particular index, then we have to take a snap and id equal to where. Okay, and after that when we are taking a snap, then what we have to do? We have to take a snap id plus plus, and then we have to return snap id. Okay, and then when we are going to get any value, then what we have to take? We have to take int temp equal to snap id -1. Okay, after that what we are doing? We have to take while temp is greater than or equal -1, and then why we are putting this condition? When any case if you are not finding our id at particular index, if you don't find any id, then we are checking again and again that if it can happen that a particular id will happen. it can be happen that this ID will not present it. So it check a previous ID, it will check again previous ID. So we check at every ID at particular index. If you are not getting any ID, then we will check previous case, and every time we are checking in previously. Okay, so that we check if our A index dot find temp equal to A index dot ind. It means we are checking that our particular index is not presented at whole map. In whole map we are not getting our particular ID, so we just decrease the ID for previous. We are checking our previous ID, so we are decreasing the temp. And else, if you get it, then you just return. If you get it, then you should return. If you get it, then you will return. Okay, so this will be the case. Then what you have to do is, so now we have to return 0. Okay, now we have to just return this 0 here. Okay, because in case you are not getting any value, then you have to return 0. Why? Because when our while loop will terminated, first I'm just crop this code so that you understand what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, 1 second. Okay, so what I'm saying is, like, this is your initial array, and you update, this is your initial condition -1. Okay, it will take a snapshot initially -1, and then we are just updating our value like 1, 0, 0, 0. Okay, so for case of 1, you present 1, but in these cases you are not updating our value. Okay, so when we want to access this value, when we want to access like 0, like this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. When we want to access the value of 4, at the value of 4, when we send the index 4 and our ID is 1. Okay, so what we are getting that we are not getting any ID. So we just decrease our snapshot ID. This will take like -1. This will take a -1, like 1 -1 0. So it will go and check out. Then it will go this 0, and it will go this 0 -1 equal to -1. Okay, so it will go and check out that at -1 we are getting any type of value. So it will find out that index is 4. At index 4 it will not get any temp, it will not get any keys like temp, it will not get any temp. So it will come here and it will decrease the -1, and when it decreases the -1, then the value of temp will decrease, then -1. It will decrease, then -1, and in the when you are going to decrease from -1, it will -2, and -2 we will not getting any value. So we will return the 0 when we are terminating this loop. Okay, if we are getting any value, then we return this. Okay, then return this value. I hope you understand. If you're not getting any value, then if you're not getting -2, then we return the particular index. Like if we are asking for 4, if you are asking for like snap ID, if you are asking for snap ID, like it will take like snap ID like 2. Okay, so if you are asking for snap ID 2, then it will go and 2 -1. Okay, it will say we are going to have to check out that our snap ID 1. Okay, and it will find 1. Why? Because when we are sending our index is 1 and snap ID 2, then it will go and it will provide a snapshot ID 1, and index 1, at index 1 of snap ID 1, we will get our value as 1. Okay, so I hope you understand what I'm saying. So thank you so much for watching my video. Thank you.